Hi, I am John Hoffman. I am the author of Getting to Healthy, Making the Transition to Eating Real Food, available on Amazon.com. Junk food, fast food, and processed food are addictive and powerful. So powerful that I challenge you to try to give them up for even a couple of weeks. Without enlisting the support structures I discuss in my book, you are almost sure to fail. One of the most important of these is nutritional education. To permanently transition to healthy eating requires much more than just knowing that eating fruits and vegetables is good for you. You must understand why eating healthy foods and avoiding junk food, fast food, and processed food is important. Deep understanding only comes through education. Think of education as an investment in your future. Growing up, my father told me to get all the education I could and emphasized how important it was to my future. Boy, was that good advice. Most parents emphasize education to their children because they want their offspring to lead happier, more successful, and more fulfilling lives. Education not only lifts people out of poverty, it is the ticket to making and keeping long-term commitments. As you know, a tree that has shallow roots is easily toppled by strong winds. So, you will need much more than just a casual knowledge of what to eat and what not to eat, although that is a good starting point. You must understand what happens to the organs, cells, and blood vessels of your body when you eat healthy and unhealthy foods. In other words, you must understand the specific, real-life, scientifically proven consequences of your diet. When I grew up, my generation was told over and over again not to smoke. That statement, as true as it was not as motivational as being shown graphic images of blackened, sickly, disease-ridden lungs that had been removed from the bodies of heavy smokers. Being able to visualize and see specifically what happens when people smoke made a deep and lasting impression. In fact, it cemented my resolve to avoid smoking. Likewise, a casual approach to becoming educated about healthy eating leads to a casual commitment, and casual commitments are the same as failed commitments. But who can afford to spend hours and hours researching healthy eating? You don't have to. You can get a sufficient education just by reading a few key books. I suggest you start by reading Dr. Joel Fuhrman's book, Fast Food Genocide: How Processed Food is Killing Us and What We Can Do About It. And then reading Dr. Michael Greger's book, How Not to Die: Discover the Foods Scientifically Proven to Prevent and Reverse Disease. Finally, read my book, Getting to Healthy, Making the Transition to Eating Real Food, available on Amazon.com. 3 books, minimal time, minimal investment, but lasting results. Have you ever noticed that when novices try to learn a new skill or profession, they often try to skip over the basics, such as safety education in a shop class, thinking that they are really not necessary? Experience proves otherwise. You must sink your roots down deeply. If you think you can stick to your resolve to eat healthily for the next several years without this education, you are welcome to try. But in my experience, without it, the importance of eating healthily will gradually fade away, as will your resolve. So, if you are wondering why you have not been successful in making the transition, take a step back and ask yourself if you have acquired the necessary education. If not, then park yourself for a few hours in your favorite reading chair and get with it. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.